Hello, everyone. Welcome back to episode 8 of Ask Mom About Real Estate. My name is Mac. I'm the son.
And I'm Becca, the mom.
On today's episode, we'll be discussing manufactured homes. So, Mom, what is a manufactured home?
A manufactured home is exactly what it says. So it's not a home built sticks and bricks usually, but a home built in a manufactured way and then moved to a location.
So, when people think of manufactured homes, generally they would think of like a trailer.
Yeah, I think back in the day they called them mobile homes lots of times. It does come in on wheels. It does come in on a trailer, but they're so much different now than they used to be. But it is manufactured somewhere else and moved to a space.
Right. So, why would somebody want to buy a manufactured home?
Well, the great thing about manufactured homes is they're typically cheaper. Sometimes half as much if you have the same square footage in a home, like a stick-built home, versus a manufactured, it can be up to about 50% of the price of the same home.
Wow.
Stick-built in per square foot.
Okay, so when you say same home, you mean by square footage?
Yeah, so square footage. So if you have a 1,400 square foot home that's stick-built and a 1,400 square foot home manufactured, it can be almost about half as much as a regular home.
And what causes that home to be so much cheaper if compared to a stick build?
Well, for the same reason that you would think, like your manufactured homes, they're just spitting them out and they all look the same and they all have the same fixtures and they all have similar features. You can upgrade in a manufactured home and you can remodel in a manufactured home. It just looks always different.
Right.
Like they're just manufactured. It's like as if you got something off the conveyor belt versus something that is going to be unique.
Yeah,
no matter what.
Is the material generally cheaper with a manufactured home?
Not
compared to a stick build?
usually. Usually, I mean, when you stick build a home, you build it on a foundation. A manufactured home is built on a metal piece, essentially, and that's transportable, can be affixed to a trailer and transportable to somewhere else. And then you can affix it, like you can fix it to a foundation, like concrete or wood or anything else that would make it real property.
Gotcha.
So
what does it look like when you're looking to buy a manufactured home and you approach a bank to get a loan? What is the process like? Is it different than to buy a stick build?
Absolutely. Well, it depends. So when I say they bring it, it's mobile, right? So until the manufactured home is fixed on a foundation, it is considered kind of like a fifth wheel or a car. It's more of a vehicle. As a matter of fact, when you transfer titles with a car, it's very similar. You can do that with a manufactured home. If it's not fixed on a foundation and it's on rented land, because you can do both. You can do a manufactured home on rented land, or you can affix the manufactured home on a foundation on purchased land, which then becomes real property. So there's two different ways.
So let's say I go out and I buy an acre of land, and instead of going through the process of building a full stick home, I can create a foundation, bring in a manufactured home, plant it there. Does that value differ from a manufactured home that was just planted on a plot of land that is rented?
100%. And your financing's different. So to answer your original question with the financing, if you put a manufactured home on a foundation on land that you own, it becomes what we call real property. And it's very similar to a regular stick-built home where you can get any type of financing on it. As long as the manufactured home was built after 1976. In 1976, there were new laws that came out to make sure those homes were built differently up to a certain code, that when you put it on a foundation, it would be as if it was a home that was built sticks and bricks.
How many manufactured homes are still around from 1976?
You would be surprised.
Really?
Yeah, especially in Idaho. I felt like I did a ton of manufactured homes that I was like, sorry, you can't get financing on this.
Wow.
because it was built before 1976. You can still sell it. It just
Mhm.
has to be a cash buyer, someone who can write a check for it instead of needs to get a loan on it.
Let's say somebody does wanna move a manufactured home onto a property that they own.
Mhm.
Is there specific financing that you would suggest for them to, seek or to, get for that manufactured home?
So if they're putting it on a foundation, they have to place it on the foundation first and have it be inspected by the appropriate authorities.
Gotcha.
And then they deem it real property. Then they can get any
Mhm.
financing that they want
So that's
on
how
it.
it's similar to, a stick build
Mhm.
or, even a new home that you may be buying.
Mhm.
There is an inspection done, to make sure that it's up to standard.
Yeah, an engineer will come out and make sure that it's attached to the foundation properly,
Mm,
and they put their stamp of approval on it. A lender will not loan on a manufactured home, whether it's the first sale, the second sale, the third sale, unless they see that stamped approval that the engineer gave
mhm.
on it.
So is that engineer different than a normal home inspector that comes
Oh,
through?
absolutely. An engineer is
Hmm,
specialized in making sure that the home is affixed properly. Your home inspector could inspect all the other home items, but you'd have to have an engineer do the inspection
gotcha.
on an affixed. Yeah.
Gotcha. So what's the I mean, we kind of talked about the value difference between a manufactured on a rental property and on an owned property.
Mhm.
What is the value over time within looking to sell your manufactured home that you own? Is there a difference in value?
Yes, like the actual home itself probably stays about the same, but the fact
Mhm.
that you own the land
Right.
underneath adds the value.
So when you're living in a manufactured home and you're on a rental
Mm.
property, you're renting to live there.
Yeah, you're essentially renting the
The land,
space,
right.
um, kind of like a campsite, right? Like it's
Mhm.
almost like that. You pay somebody money to be able to have access to their utilities also. So like you pay usually for gas and electric in there, but within the subdivision of the manufactured home park,
Mhm.
we call them lots of times park. Um, they cover like your water, sewer, garbage, you know, utilities that way. They'll cover that with your rent, your lot rent. That's what
Mhm.
they call it.
I guess going back to the loans that we were talking about
Mhm.
before, with a renter's, manufactured home loan, what does that look like? Is it how different is it from a normal
It's
loan?
totally different. So, on a home loan, you're getting a mortgage. On a manufactured home that's I'm gonna say it's still on its wheels, where you
Yeah.
can still move it from one park to another park. It hasn't ever been fixed to a foundation. You have to get essentially just like a small loan.
Mm.
And I looked it up. It's chattel. Is that what it was?
I don't know.
It's chattel. Chattel loan. Like you essentially have to, which ends up being higher interest and
Mm,
shorter term. So if you have a fixed manufactured home on a foundation that has been deemed real property, you can get a 30-year mortgage on it. You can't do those on those loans
gotcha.
when it's still on its wheels.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's going to be higher interest rate and lower term, but a less expensive home too. It does allow some more affordable housing for an
Mhm.
option for someone who can't afford real property. It actually gives them their own little space. I was actually on the airplane with a gentleman just the other day, and he and I were talking about how he's thinking about getting married and he's going to move his wife then to Arizona. He was talking to me about housing when he found out I was in real estate. He was talking to me about housing. And I asked him if he'd ever considered a manufactured home because of their situation. They both just went through divorces
Mm,
recently, and they can't really afford a whole lot. But
right.
with their double income, they could probably still, do something. And I asked him if he was interested in possibly purchasing a manufactured home. That is an affordable housing option.
Mhm.
So he could move his family into his new combined family into a home of their own, where they probably couldn't afford a $400,000 home,
Right.
but they could afford a $100,000 manufactured home on rented lot.
So I love that situation because thinking about other people who are in a similar situation, whether it's the fact of affordability for them or it's just whatever the situation may be. Let's say somebody's looking to, or let's say somebody's trying to decide whether or not they want to purchase a manufactured home and live there and get a loan for it because it may be on a rented property, or they're looking to rent in an apartment. What would you say would be the benefits and differences between the two of them?
Always ownership, always ownership. Because first and foremost, your lot rent, sometimes it's really expensive, especially in Arizona, but your lot rent and the possible loan amount on your manufactured home could possibly be cheaper than rent in areas. Rent prices are actually still on the rise.
Right, they're so high.
Yeah, and so that actually could be a cheaper option. And your manufactured home will always go up in value, just like a home. It may not go up in value in the same way a stick-built home would, but it will still go up in value. I actually had a situation where we sold a manufactured home on a rented lot at one point, and we sold it to this person for like $68,000. It was a double wide, so it was about 1,300 square feet. And the next time they turned around and sold it, which was like 4 years later, we sold it for $105,000.
Wow.
So it still goes up in value. I mean, that was when prices were increasing rapidly the past few years, but they still go up in value, just maybe not quite as much as a stick-built home or a real property manufactured home. But they still go up in value. But it's still way more affordable. Like I know, like where your sister lives in Bozeman, Montana, a lot of people her age in their 20s, even 30s, can't afford a home there because their starter homes are like $600,000. And so manufactured homes, even on real property, would still be a more affordable option for them.
When it comes to a manufactured home that's not in real property or property that they own and they're renting, is there an HOA ever involved in those?
Yeah, I mean, you're going to be in a park essentially where they're going to have stipulations on what things look like, and it's going to be very mild. It's going to be like, because on manufactured homes that are on a foundation, they still have to be placed on something, like they stay on the trailer or concrete cinder blocks or whatever, and then there has to be certain skirting, they call it, around so that it looks finished and it's not like, a house on blocks. So like, and if some of them have little lawns, and some of them will take care of the lawns, but some of them require you to take care of the lawns. I just sold one in Arizona that was on a lot rental, and they had certain stipulations on signage, like where you could put the sign and how big your plants could be. And so they will have like different.
Right. And HOAs in Arizona are generally a lot more common than they would be in Idaho. So there's usually a lot more rules when it comes to.
Yeah, for sure. But they like to keep them nice and looking nice for the most part, when you're in a park like that.
And you said in Arizona, a lot of times the rent can be expensive if you're on a non-owned property. Is that because a lot of the times it's a retirement place? It's very frequent for retirement. So compared to Idaho, which you're familiar with as well, it's going to be a lot more.
Yeah. So it does get pretty expensive. Even in Idaho, there were a couple parks that are super nice that actually charge quite a bit, like over $500 a month just to rent the lot.
Wow.
And that usually includes like some of your utilities also. But in the one that I just sold in Arizona was like over $800 a month.
Wow.
And when you're thinking about that was in an over 55 area, which what they're doing is targeting like the snowbirders that just come during the winter. and they usually are in a place of affordability that they can afford to pay $800 a month and maintain that lot and keep a little home. We ended up selling that manufactured home for like $40,000. And a lot of people in that age bracket can write a check for $40,000
in cash.
So they don't owe anything on the home itself.
So
they
they're
just
paying
pay the
$800
rent.
a month. Yeah. Yeah, and going through some of those in Arizona, they have some nice
I know.
amenities. They got pools, pickleball courts.
I know.
They have everything.
I know. Hot tubs. Like
Yeah.
they have events. They have little libraries.
It's a fun area.
It really
so it's
is.
worth it if you can write the cash check for it.
100%. Because you're paying more for like the facility, not necessarily just the land underneath. Yeah.
No, that makes sense. Well, thinking about the affordability of a manufactured home, and the loans that go into them, what's the financing aspect of that, and what does it look like?
So, very important. I'll repeat it again because I've run into so many times where this came into play and it was difficult.
With manufactured homes specifically?
With manufactured homes specifically, it has to be built after 1976 to be able to qualify for financing. And if it is deemed real property and you're getting like your conventional FHA, VA financing on it, you have to have it certified by an engineer. So those two things are the most important things.
The year is built and making sure that the foundation is approved by an engineer.
Yep. And the way that it's fixed. Once that manufactured home is put on the foundation and it's certified real property, you cannot take it off that foundation and get financing on it again.
Oh, wow.
So if someone decides they want to go ahead and move it, because you can move it off that foundation and take it to another state or whatever. It's expensive to move, but you can take it to another state, put it on another foundation. It no longer qualifies for traditional financing. So you want to make sure when you put it on a foundation, it's going to stay there.
So it essentially becomes as if it was a stick home. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Let's say you said it does become different financing. Let's say you do move it. Is there a way that you still could technically do that? It would just be a lot more work.
It'd be one of those chattel financings again.
Like
it'd be higher interest, it'd be lower terms.
More like a loan than
a car loan almost. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. But the financing parameters with conventional FHA, you have to fit all of those parameters still. The other thing with financing or with moving your manufactured home, becoming real property, being able to finance is the location. They have to allow manufactured homes. Some locations do not allow you to put manufactured homes on vacant lots. So depending on if it's a subdivision, lots of subdivisions don't, period. But like if there's vacant land outside just in the county somewhere, that's where you're kind of gonna go look for land to purchase to put your manufactured home to deem it real property before you can get financing on it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Awesome, everyone. Thank you so much for listening to episode 8 on manufactured homes. We hope you enjoyed and answered some of your questions. This was actually a requested topic from somebody. So please, if you have any questions regarding real estate or whatever it may be, please feel free to ask and we'll love to cover it in an episode or just answer your questions through personal messaging, whatever it may be. But that being said, we'll see you on the next episode.